Hi there guys, and welcome back to another Train Sim 2018 video. I'm kicking this off really with a sort of tradition. After I do a reinstall, I seem to my first video always seems to be a North Clyde Lines or Suburban Glasgow video. So without breaking tradition, let's do it again. It's actually been 5 months since my last reinstall. That was actually on my old machine, so this is my first reinstall on my new machine. And again, I'll go through why I reinstall again during this video, just to recap that. But also, this is a lovely scenario. I did it on the stream the other night. It's one of Davey 50Gs. It's available on my Facebook group, so if you go onto my Facebook group, go onto files, it's in there. Davey is a regular attender on the streams and does some very nice scenarios up on the North Clyde lines. The main reason for this reinstall was I was getting an awful lot of stuttering, and it was hard drive stuttering. And the bottom line is I don't know what was actually causing it, but a reinstall seems to have sorted it out. I haven't got everything in just yet. I've got as much as I can in the time I've had today, but having a much faster internet connection than the last time has made it a lot easier. So, welcome aboard 1458 driver only service to Glasgow Central, calling at Patterton, White Craigs, William Wood, Muir End, Cathcart, Mount Florida, Cross Hill, Queen's Park, Pollock Shields, East and Glasgow Central. Set up your train, car length and carriage lights, and switch cabs to put on the tail lights. Right, let's get all that done then. If we unpause the game. Right, so we want our headlights today in here. Put the master key on. Pull that into neutral. Not going to bother with this because it will actually be wrong, because we are of course a 6-car set, because this is a 322, isn't it? Which was the Scottish version of the 321. Actually, I think they were Stansted Express originally before they went up Scotland. Put our tail lights on there. And our wrong way around. Carriage lights on. Let's get our doors open. Let's knock you off, because I don't need you. Anything else that I'm forgetting in here? No, destination indicator is already set as far as I'm aware. Glasgow Central. Perfect. Okay. Let's wait for our passengers to board and then we can leave from here. Looks like quite a nice day. It's spring day by the looks of it. Bit like today really. It's actually quite nice out there. I've not been out very much the last couple of days due to being a bit ill, but all good now. And looking forward to getting back to doing some videos where I'm not getting the stutter. It's a strange experience. I've worked out that a lot of my errors come from installing stuff on the fly. I'm quite strict when installing stuff when I'm not streaming, but when people send me stuff when I'm streaming, I tend to just dump it in, and I don't go through the file structure and stuff. So when people send me things that's in the wrong file structure, I'll go and fix it, then reinstall it again, but I won't delete the old one. So I'm having to learn my lesson from that one. I think I probably had about 5 or 6 gigs worth of wrongly installed stuff by my last count. And of course you're going to have to get used to my bad driving in the 321. I'm alright with it once I've driven it for a little while. But last time I drove it, like I said, was on the stream. And I haven't driven it since. You'll also notice I have the default West Coast Main Line North track. I do have the track upgrades, but just not in yet. As much as I would like them in, it's just something that I just haven't had time to do just yet. Pressed F instead of D there by accident. It's a fair gradient down towards Patterson, so I can coast it, and I'll actually need a bit of brake more than anything. It's a lovely route. It is a lovely, lovely route, Suburban Glasgow, but the reason I end up doing it as my first reinstall video, is it tends to be the first route that goes wrong on my machine. And I go to do a scenario in a video and it dumps all over the place, and then I'm like, oh, I've got reinstalled to be able to play that scenario. So hence why I tend to do North Clyde Lines or Suburban Glasgow first. I don't know why it is. It is a very detailed route and it's very nicely done. I think on this run there is only one bit, there's a bit of foliage that covers the track on a bridge further down here, but that's about it. But I highly recommend it. It does have a lot of requirements, like most of the freeware routes that are this detailed, but it's sort of worth it. It's sort of worth it. And especially in the very recent sales. I mean, I think we've pretty much had a sale either through DTG or Steam or AP or Just Trains. I think there's always been a sale of some sort going on for the last sort of 6 months, which is a really good thing. Train sim content becoming cheaper is only a bonus for us. It's only a bonus for us that like playing it. It is a bonus. And even the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley was on sale. I think it still is on sale through DTG at the minute. And I say that, it's the 10th of the 4th, 2018. For those of you that are going to watch this any other time. It's just over this bridge here. There was a bit of foliage on the track the last time I did it. Oh, that's good. Doesn't seem to be here after the reinstall, which is nice. I've got slightly different settings than I was running as of the last video as well. I've upped a few things, but I'm noticing a few quite large frame rate drops, so that will change again. Just goes to show you that no matter how long you have train sim for, it is still always trial and error. I think anybody who says that they've mastered it is telling fibs. Oh, I was on track for the 6-car mark there. At least I might only just overshoot this one. Ooh! So this is what I mean with a 3-2-1. Excellente. Oh, it's not going to take off because the brake was over step 2. It's these little touches, look, just the path going down the side. Actually, Nathan Smith, if you watch that little path there. Nathan was talking to me a little while ago about struggling to find an asset that would match the path for his East Coast Main Line add-on for the section between Cambridge and Shelford, and that bit there was as good as I think we'd get. Ooh, close enough. It's still one of my favourite DLCs, the 321. It's just does everything well. It's a pleasure to drive, even if you drive it as badly as I do. Also looks good, doesn't it? Comes with a bazillion liveries. Oh, that should be off. The sounds are brilliant. It's got that super duper disc brake thing where actually at low speed it's not as good as a tread brake, which I think has been really well implemented. It just works well. I haven't recently just been up in Scotland. It was 320s were all that I saw. They weren't 322s. They did get the 322s. I think these are 320s. Or did Northern get the 322s? I can't remember anyway. One of the two. Oh, stupid me, just pressed the T instead of R. So stuck at Muir End for a minute. He did say the timings are tight on this, and yeah, we're going to be a little bit late. But that's nothing new with my videos, is it? It'd be a shame if we were on time. Come on, close for me now. There we go. Going to be even later now. That's better. This is why you watch my YouTube channel, you see. Most YouTubers would have scrapped this video, edited that out because it was their own silly mistake. Me, nah. You get to see it in all its raw beauty. You see, that's quite a big drop. 40 down to 21 at points on this. I think it's going to be my anti-aliasing just because of the amount of trees that are on here. There's lots of little lines in these trees that it's got to try and not make all look silly, which is a tough job. Anyway, what we got to look forward to coming soon, we have the DTG updated, well, new Class 390, which I am looking forward to. That's been done by Edward Fisk. Edward Fisk, is it? He's popped in the stream a few times and discussed various bits and pieces. Nothing that goes against his non-disclosure agreement or anything, but he's listened to some feedback, which is really good to hear. And the cab functionality simulated TAS, is that tilt advisory safety system, or whatever it is. There's some of that modelled. Sounds like we're going to get pretty full cab functionality, which again I'm very pleased about. You know how much I like my clickety-click cabs. I think a lot of you guys out there do that watch my channel, but there's actually quite a large majority, and I see this a lot in the DTG group. Ed was also talking about it. That, and I don't, before I say this isn't a criticism, and I think I've spoken about it before, but there's people out there that don't want a complicated unit or loco. Now for me, I want it as realistic as possible. I think if you just want to jump on a line and play trains, you put the F4 HUD up, put it in simple controls, and you whack away with that. I like the challenge of it being as real as possible. And to me, I don't see. I mean, yeah, I was going to say I don't see why you'd want it any less, but I can. If you do just want to turn up and have a play and look at the scenery more than the train, that's fine. I know there are people that need the exteriors of trains to be absolutely perfect and every little detail to be completely spot on. I like that because I like looking at the outside of the trains because, come on, that's what I like to look at. But realistically, I would be quite happy with just a cab view. So I'm not one to talk for things like that. We'll see, yeah, down to like 18 there. Gotta change my settings back a little bit. Oh, should have been a little bit slower pulling up there, but hey. I'm sure plenty of drivers have done that in real life. Bad ones. But yeah, I think it's something we all need to remember, me included, is that Train Sim and all the developers of Train Sim have got a very broad market that they have to please. Now, those of us that like things like this are very lucky we have Armstrong Powerhouse. And I suppose those people that like things pretty simple have DTG. But don't get me wrong, DTG have done some very nice stuff that's been more of their pro range, which is what the 390 is going to be. That is going to be part of the pro range. Now, there are some locos in the pro range that I just think aren't pro at all, and there are some that I think do justify it a bit. But I don't think really until you get into sort of AP territory, especially for UK stock, this will be different for some of the other ones. Some of the European stock, I'm sure, is quite professionally done. And I will get round to doing some more European stuff. I was very lucky to have been given a sneaky peek at the F40 PH 2CAT enhancement pack that Searchlight Simulations are working on at the minute for my stream the other night by Woody. And that, for an American thing, had me hooked. It had me hooked. I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and have a little play with that. And I really have no real interest in American stuff. And that sounds weird and very generic, but the Acela I quite like, and the HHP8 I quite like. That's pretty much it for American stuff. So it's something to sort of to get me hooked in it. Again, that was more of the simulation of the train. That was more because there were systems in it that worked that I didn't know how they worked, and I wanted to get in there and like go, oh, what does that do? Oh, what happens if I do that and that together? And I think that's the draw of Train Sim for me. I think that's the joy of Train Sim through simulation. Full stop, isn't it? I want to do something that I can't do in real life. And trust me, I'm nowhere near the worst. There are people out there that take this incredibly seriously. Incredibly seriously. I mean, like sometimes on stream I'll pull away without setting my lights, or I've not done something, and there'll be people screaming, like getting angry. You haven't set the headlights. It's like, at some point you've still got to remember that this is just a simulator. This isn't real. Nobody's going to die if my headlights aren't set. I'm not going to lose my job if my headlights aren't set. But on the flip side, I understand that you guys watch this because you like it, and it's quite real for you. And when I do try to do things as best as I can, it doesn't always work that way. It quite often doesn't work that way. But it's horses for courses. Whatever floats your boat. What have we got now? Not far in Central now. 9 minutes. See, that's something I should do if I was playing super realistically. I'd be setting DRA and putting it into neutral. I wouldn't have to set the DRA here because there's no signal ahead of me, but it would be one of the other things that I would need to do to be more realistic. How realistic do you play it, is what I'm really asking more than anything. Do you guys play super realistic? Are you just a push and go man? Would you like a mix of the two? I've found myself, see, I used to play Train Sim a lot to relax, and found it didn't relax me that much because I enjoyed it so much. What I've recently started playing again, just to sort of broaden my spectrum of games on YouTube, was Fernbus. The sort of much maligned and hated version of a bus simulator on PC, and I found myself playing. I've done a good few hours on it now, just chilling out. I've found it very, very relaxing. I used to play ETS2 a lot to relax. And this is sort of just taking the biscuit a bit. And I won't mince my words here. I would rather walk than travel on a bus a lot of the time. I hate buses. Don't mind them as vehicles, but I hate bus drivers. Generally have a really tough job, and how can I put this politely without offending people? They have a very tough job, and they have to try and keep themselves sane. So I can understand why some act the way they act. They're very well in Cambridge. They're very, very rarely on time. They take the most convoluted routes ever devised, and they're expensive. Buses where I am are really, really expensive. I think it's £2.80 single for like a 3.5 mile journey. So I don't like buses, but Fernbus I quite enjoy playing. I get my steering wheel, get my pedals, put the weird radio on that it comes with, and drive away for a little while. It's weird. I've got a red the other side of Pollock Shields. I might even use the DRA for you and then watch me forget it. Oh, there's a whole thing about not having my reskins in. We've got some floaty couplings going on there. Yeah, we're a good 1.5 late already. See, we're down at about 15, 16 FPS there for a second. Remember, your DRA isn't just for reds, it's for any aspect that isn't green. Just to remind you of what is next. Just went double yellow just before we hit it, which is nice. I think that one's just gone green. No, double yellow, sweet. That could have ended badly, couldn't it? And this is the slow and steady bit in central now. I think if I had a favourite station approach, it would be in central. I don't think I've ever been on it when it's been clear. There's always been at least 4 or 5 trains moving at the time that I've been on it. And this is no exception, but I'm expecting some more floaty couplings, unfortunately. And again, I must stress that's just because I won't have the reskin installed yet. It's not Davy's scenario. This scenario is perfectly done. The timings are tight. The timings are tight. I've got to remember there's a 15 limit at the end here. Is there 15 coming into this, or is it? Is it 15 coming in? Or is it 20 and 15 out? I can never remember. But it says right above our heads, 15 mile an hour, all lines. So I suppose I shouldn't really need it on the HUD, should I? I think it, what was that? That would have been no geos on it. I can't think what it would be. I can't think what was in here. The last time I did it, there was definitely some 156s and 158s in. It'll be some of Albie's reskins. I'd love somebody to do. See when people do the upgrade on this route eventually. I'd like to see it sort of lightened up in here a bit. Central has some very light points. It's not the brightest of stations in the world, but it's definitely not as gloomy as this. Alright, let's get those doors open. Alright, and guys, thank you very, very much for joining me. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe to this video if you feel like it. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up. That does massively help me. If you haven't enjoyed it, you know what to do. Also, remember to give us your comments. How do you play Train Simulator? What is it you like about Train Simulator? Do you play for simulation or do you play for fun? So once again, guys, thanks ever so much, and I will catch you guys again next time.